In this discussion, we are going to see about the concept of isolationism in global politics. See, US is going towards isolationism. We can see this from US involvement in NATO and its allies. So this is an important opportunity for India because when a third world country or a developing country follows isolationism, it is very harmful for the country because sometimes it may lead to the trade tariffs and protectionist policies which falls on the isolationist country. The political relations with other countries will also get severed. But when a superpower or a major developed country follows isolationism, it is an opportunity for third world country to seize the vacuum of power. So this is an opportunity for India because US following an isolationist policy is an opportunity for India. So in this context, we are going to discuss about this isolationism in geopolitics. First of all, what is isolationism? Isolationism is a foreign policy approach, which means a country focus on avoiding alliances and also minimize the involvement in international conflict. This isolationism has roots in geopolitics with leaders like George Washington advocating for non-intervention in European affairs. So George Washington has decided to not interfere in the European countries' affairs, and it is also seen as a complete withdrawal from global issues. Sometimes isolationism is often involved with selective engagement, such as having only trade, diplomacy and cultural exchanges and not much involvement in other countries' affairs. Looking at the historical context of isolationism, in 19th century, the US adopted a policy of limited engagement. It focused on the domestic growth and expansion within the Western Hemisphere. After World War I, the isolationism gained popularity due to the heavy cost of the war. So this led to the Neutrality Act of 1930. And USA was following isolationism from World War I until the World War II, when Japan attacked the Pearl Harbor in 1941. So this ended the US isolationist policy, and US decided to involve in the Second World War. And also during the Cold War, the isolationism became a term which is used to criticize who opposed the military intervention or alliance. As I said earlier, if a major country or a developed country, a superpower country following isolationism is an opportunity for developing countries to expand their power. An alternative to isolationism is a concept of restraint, which means using more strategic approach to international engagement. A restraint also means prioritizing the national interest. This concept of restraint focuses on working with allies and also recognizing the limits of a country's power. So this concept offers a balanced middle path between complete disengagement and aggressive involvement. So restraint is a middle path between this disengagement and aggressiveness. If we look at India's foreign policy, we have followed a non-alignment policy and it emphasized on the independence in decision making. Unlike isolationism, India practices multi-alignment, which means engagement with multiple countries to maximize the benefits. Now let us compare the foreign policy between US and India's approach. US has historically goes between interventionism and isolationism. Sometimes they involve in the World War and sometimes they follow isolationism. But they always remain economically connected to the world. India, on the other hand, avoids the binding alliances and also building strategic partnership. So this balances a protectionist policy and also involvement in the global markets. An important difference between India's isolationism and US one is pulling back from the commitments, while India's approach emphasizes global engagement without entanglement. So India's isolationism is a more of a positive one with some engagement. Now look at this prelims practice question. What does the term isolationism refers to in terms of US foreign policy? The correct answer is option B, avoiding entangling alliances and minimizing international conflicts. So with this, let us conclude the discussion.